I want to talk to you today about unblocking the wondrous love and unexpected mercy that God has for you. Our job is not to do things over and over again so that we can gain God's love and His mercy. Our job is to simply unblock the wondrous love and the unexpected mercy that freely flows to us. That's what Holy Week is about. Holy Week is about learning how to do that. Now, unblocking is an interesting word. And so whenever you're in social media, it's fun to block, isn't it? I mean, you know, like people that don't have the same political leanings as you, block. You know, Ken and I have two nieces that we love to watch what they say, and then all of a sudden we go, block. You know, it's fun. It's fun to block. And you know what? Sometimes we can block consciously, you know, like with the nieces, you know. And then sometimes what I learned on social media that we can actually also block unconsciously. Like, for example, one of you in the parish who is on Facebook, you know, said to me after about a year that they probably knew I was on Facebook, said to me, you know, Regis, you never respond to any. You know, is what I said. I said, I never realized you were on Facebook. They said, I bet you have me blocked. And so I didn't know enough about that, you know, so we went on my Facebook account, and sure enough, I had them blocked with about 20 other people that I was wondering why I never heard from them, you know. And so sometimes unconsciously, you can hit the wrong button, and all of a sudden, people are blocked. Or I also learned that you can block people if you're not on for a while. Like all of a sudden, like you'll miss an update or something like that, and all of a sudden they're blocked, you know. And so, what this theme of the sermon today is unblock the wondrous love and unexpected mercy that God has for you. In other words, receive it. See, the opposite of unblocking is to receive. Now, I don't know about you, but I suspect that more than 50% of the people in the room today are people who don't receive easily. That most of you probably, like me, you learn somehow in your spiritual upbringing that it's better to give than to receive. Are there any of you out there? You know, like that. My mother was great at this. I mean, she was such a wonderful host and hostess, and she put off incredible dinners, and people, all of our family would come and join, and my mother just thrilled herself in serving people. She just loved doing that. That was her role. She just loved it. And then all of a sudden, we got into our family a lady from the Philippines. She married one of my cousins, and so her name is Sonia. And when she came to the first meal, she was up there helping my mother. And my mother said, "Oh, Sonia, please sit down, honey. You know, I want to be able to serve you." And Sonia said, "But Aunt Marianne, I would love to serve with you." And my mother said, "Oh, Sonia, you're new in the country. You're new in the family. I want to take care of you." And so Sonia sat. And she sat for the next meal and the next meal. But I could tell that she was uncomfortable sitting. And then the day came whenever she felt comfortable enough, and she cornered my mother privately. And she said to her, "Aunt Marianne," now I never heard this because I wasn't in the room, but my mother told me the story because it was so life-changing for her. She said, Sonia said to me, "Aunt Marianne, I need to love you. You have to let me serve you too." And my mother started to cry, and she said, "Oh, honey, I would never want you to feel uncomfortable, so you can serve me anytime you're here." And she went on to do that, you know. But it was an important lesson. It's hard for a lot of us to receive. You know, it's much easier for us to give. You know? And so psychologists have studied that, and there's psychological reasons for that. Like, for example, some of us have been raised with that whole dictate, you know, it's more noble to give than to receive. There's an intimacy that comes with receiving things. Like if someone pays you a compliment, and if you receive it, you're connected with them. there's an intimacy, and that doesn't feel comfortable for a lot of people. And there's also like a loss of control. See, like whenever you receive from someone else, like then you're not as in control as you may want to be. Like, for example, you ever notice how whenever people thank other people, this is interesting, thank you. And what's the reply back? Thank you. But the answer really should be, you're welcome, right? But notice that. Notice that most people's replies to thank you are, thank you. You see? That there's that we're not in control whenever we receive. See, some of us were raised in these environments where we were learned real early not to trust. Like, for example, there's strings attached. People wouldn't just give you things if they didn't have an agenda. See, they have an agenda. Let's just wait for this to happen. And so that prevents us from receiving. Some of us have this self-imposed pressure that says whenever you receive something, you have to give exactly the same amount back. There's this reciprocity, or whatever that word is. Okay, you have to be reciprocal with that. So it's hard to receive, isn't it? Now it's hard to receive in general, but now think about this. It's hard to receive a gift you don't expect, or a gift